Hi, my name is TJ with On Point Archery in Norwalk, Connecticut. Today we're going to talk about arrow spine. Generally arrows will come 32 inches in length out of the box and then they get cut to the shooter. Well, each arrow is going to have a number on it, either 300, 400, 500, 600, 1,000. So that is measuring what's called the arrow spine. That gets measured at 28 inches. So if you're a shorter draw length than 28 or a longer draw length than 28, your spine's gonna be a little bit different than what's advertised on the arrow. The way the industry gets that spine measurement is they suspend this arrow at 28 inches and then they hang a weight from the middle. How much that arrow bends is how they correspond to spine. Well, why is spine important? Because when you pull this arrow back and it's in a stopped position, when you let the bowstring go, it's gonna go to a moving position. When that happens, the arrow is going to bend. If you've ever seen a video of how an arrow leaves the riser of the bow when it gets released, it's a very violent process. The arrow's bending all over the place. So how much that arrow does that bend is the arrow spine. That spine needs to be matched not only to the draw length of the shooter, but the pound weight of the bow. So if you shoot a compound bow and you have a 70-pound bow, and you are a 28-inch draw length, which is sort of the industry standard, what everything's measured on, you would look for something called a spine chart for that manufacturer arrow, and it's literally a flow chart. I shoot 28 inches at 70 pounds, and it'll tell you what arrow spine you should be shooting. So go and check your arrows, ensure that your spine weight is compatible for the draw weight and draw length that you are shooting out of your bow. When we talk about arrow diameters, usually there's three different kinds. You have your standard diameter, which is about 6.5 millimeters. That's what most everybody shoots. You have larger, what they call a 23 series arrows, which is for target archery. That means when this hits the target in tournament style shooting and some portion of the broken paper breaks the higher value, that you would then get that higher value in the scoring process. That's great because what winds up happening is you shoot fatter arrows, you wind up maybe potentially getting a higher score. And the newest thing to hit the market nowadays is something called a micro diameter arrow. You're going to find these, they're 4 millimeter. Easton has a lot of them. They are literally the hottest thing to hit the market in the arrow world. The benefits to that are there's less surface area. So when this arrow gets released, if you're outside, it's going to be less affected by the environmental conditions like rain and whatnot, because there's just not as much surface. Additionally, because of how thin the arrow is, it's going to carry more kinetic energy to the target. When it carries that kinetic energy and it punctures that target, you're going to watch how it actually goes deeper into the target when shooting a micro diameter arrow. Again, all these, no matter whether they're standard diameter, large diameter, or micro diameter, the spine needs to be matched to the shooter. As far as what that material is made out of, usually you have aluminum, which is some of the older arrows, even some target arrows nowadays. Most of the shafts out today are 100% carbon, and we have the new Easton Full Metal Jacket, which is carbon wrapped in aluminum. That's going to be a lot heavier. It's going to arc more while being shot, but it's going to hit harder and take home and take down that larger game and by penetrating deeper. So that's kind of the who, what, when, where, how of arrow spine. I hope this tip helps. And when you go out to your next shooting practice, take a gander at that spine weight and check the spine chart for that manufacturer of arrow. Make sure you're shooting the right equipment because it's going to be safer and it's going to be more accurate. Thanks for watching. Shoot straight, shoot often.